What's the hired help like, Dad?
Well, I can tell you I'm grateful for any help.
Patch?
Yeah.
How many have you picked?
One, two, three,
Ask him what colour they are, Dad.
What colour are they, buddy?
black and green.
Good boy.
Now this color is black and green.
Mm-hmm.
This one's green.
They look a bit like little Easter eggs, don't they, mate? Easter Sunday 2015. Talk me through it, mate.
First of all, I want to tell you a little bit about that, the wonder of the olive tree. There's Mother Nature with the olives.
Mm.
And this part here is where next year olives are now forming. And if you don't take these olives off, Mother Nature keeps looking after these ones, and these ones don't form.
Okay.
And this is a 3-year cycle. There, and it will grow one more lot, and then it's time to prune.
Right. Prune every 3 years.
Yeah. Well, you can prune every year if you want to. In Italy, in some of them, they prune a quarter of the tree every year,
Okay.
so that it's they have new fruit every year.
Right.
What we're doing is we're picking the black ones, and we're going to air is the go to great length not to bruise them, because then we're going to pickle these. We're not going to use them for oil, but they're the Kalamata, they're the prince of pickling olives. So we're going to put them in a 10% solution of salt and water, and we're going to let them ferment for 7 days. At the end of 7 days, and each day we're going to top them up because they absorb the liquid to enhance the fermentation, and it gets rid of the bitterness out of the olive.
How can you tell when the olive's ready to pick? What colour is it?
Well, it's interesting. Although that is black, it takes 2 weeks from when the skin turns till you get down to the pip. You can see that is black all the way down. There's the pip there, but that's very ripe.
Okay.
Gracetown, early April. Olives are starting to get ripe. This morning picked a bucket of the Kalamata, which are best picked when they're ripe and they've got the pointy end. The first process is to give them a good wash. They've been subject to salt, air and all sorts of things. So we'll give them a good wash in fresh water. The next process is to get them into a jar. Here we have manzanella, which are a round olive, and you pick them green because if you let them ripen, they would go black, but they would become mushy. So we put them in the jar into what we call an egg floating brine, which is 10% salt by volume. And when you get it right, the egg just floats. to give you to let you know that the mixture of dissolved salt and water is ideal. You put your olives in, you fill it up with water, and then you drain the water off to know how much brine you're going to need. You measure the amount of water you're taking out, so you then know how much brine you're going to need. This then goes into the jar and is left for 7 days with the lid off while it ferments. The olives start to ferment, they give off a gas, and you've got to top them up daily because they start absorbing the liquid. You don't want them to have air, to be exposed to the air. After about 7 days, there is some gunk forms, and you flush that off by tipping more brine in. Into 7 days, lid on, and once a week for maybe 5 or 6 weeks, you put the jar upside down to let any solids that are left to permeate through the olive. Black olives, calamatas, will be ready to eat in about 12 weeks. And the green would take probably twice as long. During this process, air is the enemy. You can I can either keep a little bit of polystyrene on top to keep them immersed, or you can put some oil on the top. If you put oil, you'll find it get a little bit gunky and you'll have to pour it off. Crusts will form, white crusts, you just lift those off. And so there you have your olive fully brined and fermented. It should have a lovely flavour. If you want to add flavours like garlic and wine vinegar and oregano and those sorts of things, you do it partially. You don't do your whole jar at once. As you need them, you put your flavourings. The commercial olives you buy have been done in caustic soda, and it's a 7-day process. And that's why they put the flavourings with them, because you can actually taste the caustic, and they're not very good for you. Okay, lots of luck. Don't bruise them, and air's the enemy.
Well done, Pete.